Hey guys, welcome back to Crypto. Today we're doing another Brainstellar Quant puzzle. This one is called Knight and Knave. It's an easy problem, and you guys can go over it now. So basically, imagine you're a traveler and you meet a pair of twins at a fork in the road. This is the fork right here. One path is correct and one is incorrect, and one of the twins always tells the truth and the other always lies, right? And we don't know which twin tells what. So basically, we have to devise a question that we as a traveler can ask one of the twins, not knowing which twin is what, and they will give us an answer, and we only get one question to ask, and using that question alone, we have to determine the correct path, right? So that's the problem. So the hint and actually the crux of this problem, or the solution for this problem rather, is to devise a question which you'll ask one of them, obviously, but the question includes the other person's knowledge too. Now, why? What's the benefit of this? Well, the thing is that by doing so, we ensure that whatever is the final answer that we receive always has a truth and false component to it. What do I mean by that? So, I think it's best to explain this through positive and negative signs. So just bear with me for a second. So if we were to actually ask the knight about any question, right? So he would tell the truth, which I'm denoting by positive, and the knave, or the one who always says lie, would give us would lie to us, and that's false, and I'm denoting that by negative. Now, by what happens by asking one what the other would say is that we're combining these two, and every time we're going to get the product of these two symbols, which is always going to be negative. Or basically, what I'm trying to say is we're going to have a truth and a false in each statement, and these two will be combined. So the answer, the final answer that we are going to get is always going to be a false. Basically, it's like kind of similar to positive into negative is always negative, right? And negative into positive. It doesn't matter which way around, it's always negative. This will become more clear when we talk about the actual solution. So coming to the real solution now, the question that we ask is, if I were to ask the other twin to point out the incorrect path, which one would he point out? So let me just write that down for you guys. So this is the question. Now, why does this work? Well, there can only be two cases that we end up asking the knight or the knave, right? And I'll be denoting them by T and F from now. So if we end up asking the knight or T this particular question, what's gonna happen is, so the T is gonna think that my twin brother F would point out R to be the correct path, right? Because F always tells the lie. And so T saying the truth would basically answer R, as that is the correct path. Now, what will happen in the other case? Let's say we end up asking F this question. Well, F would know that his twin brother T would have answered the question as L to the question which path is correct. But since F always says a lie, so that's why L is gonna flip. Sorry, F is gonna flip L, which would have been the answer if you for this question if T was answering, and he's gonna end up saying R. So and R is actually false, right? Because it's the incorrect path. So what ends up happening is no matter who we ask the question, T or F, we end up with a lie. And this is the crux of the solution. No matter which brother we ask the particular question over here, we get the wrong answer to that sub question. So since I was asking them what was the correct path, whatever answer I get, it doesn't. We don't even know if we actually ended up doing this case or this case. So, but both of these cases end up giving us an R, right? Which means end up giving us the incorrect path for asking the correct path. So all I would do is basically first ask this question, and whichever answer I get, if it's R, basically go down L, and if they answer L, then just go down R, right? So the crux of the problem is that when we ask this question over here, what's happening is, because of the way we've asked the question, where one brother has to think about how the other brother would answer the question, and since at least one of them is gonna lie and one of them is always gonna say the truth, so it's gonna end up being an incorrect answer to this question every time. So it's gonna be an incorrect answer to the sub question, to the main question we have, right? So I could have asked like what's the correct path and just do the opposite of whatever answer I get. Or another way of framing this could have been this, this over here, because basically now we're asking the incorrect path. So whichever answer we get, either it's L or R, we know that that is actually the correct path. We always know that because of the way we frame the question, it's always going to be a lie to the main sub question that we're asking, which in this case would be uh, which one is the incorrect path. So just to summarize again, because we're including both of their behavior within our single question, we know that it's always going to be a positive into a negative. And that's always going to be a negative, which means it's always going to be a lie. So we just know that whatever like sub question we ask, we're going to get the wrong answer to that. So if I ask them the incorrect path, I'm basically going to get the correct path. So whatever answer I get, L or R, I just know that I have to go down that path. Thank you.